Some Kentucky recruiting news that is unique in nature because for one of the first times this cycle, it's not momentum that is pointing toward a Kentucky outcome with a target. Instead, here, sources have told Jacob Polachek with KSR that Kaden Samuels is no longer expected to visit Kentucky. This comes directly from Kaden Samuels' family. His mom told KSR Plus, quote, "I don't think we will be taking a visit there," when speaking on Kentucky. They had previously said they were expecting to take an official visit. He was on the long list of guard slash wings that Kentucky was looking to host in the 2026 class. And it is important to note Samuel has already visited NC State. The other schools that are heavily involved for Caden Samuels include UConn, Alabama, and Georgetown. A lot of Georgetown smoke here, too. So, what once seemed like a winnable recruitment for Kentucky now seems like Kentucky will not be an option for Caden Samuels, whether that is Mark Pope's doing or whether that's Caden Samuels and family's doing. We can't really tell here, but I do know this. You have adored Caden Samuels from the jump. Anytime we do a video on him, you preach that you think he's closer to a top five player in the class instead of where he is ranked here. So, how big of news is this for Kentucky?
I mean, it's big news because I think that Kaden Samuels is a player that would thrive in Kentucky. So honestly, this being what it is, I think it's big news for everybody, though. I feel like it's just good news for everybody because to me,
Good news.
yeah, it's good news. It's good news because I'm gonna flip it to be good news. Uh, One, if you're Kentucky and you're Mark Pope, you are in on so many guys. You were in on everybody. Truly, like if for anyone who doubted if at least Mark Pope was going to try to recruit like he was Kentucky still, like it was the Coach Cal teams, I think you throw those doubts out the door. He's going for all the top players in the class. He's talking to everybody. He's FaceTiming everyone. He has all numbers, unlimited phone minutes, all that. His texts are flooded. Um,
Yeah, he's
so you're
you at Albion freshman welcome week. He's in on everybody.
Yeah, like he was in the Facebook group, the Welcome the Class of 2015 Facebook group, early, very early. Um, Damn, I was special. But like you're not going to get everyone. You're not going to get everyone. So if you're not going to get everyone, I would like it to go like this. This is a quick like Mark Pope, Caden Samuels camp. Best of luck to you. If you're gonna go be a Hoya, go be a Hoya. Damn, that sucks. But like, let's move on. At least we're cutting bait right now. Meanwhile, I got other stuff to focus on because the guy I want in this class is tweeting out color emojis. And I got to figure out what the fuck that means. So at least I can now focus my time on figuring out what that guy's doing instead of having to focus on Caden Samuels, which to the point, I think it sucks because I'm a massive fan of Caden Samuels and would absolutely love him at Kentucky. I think he'd be a bucket, all that. But in the world of Mark Pope, in the world of Kentucky, you probably would love it to go this way, where a recruit just tells you no, thank you, so you can move on with your life.
I will say you could interpret this development as a sign that Kentucky feels great and or knows they are getting Tyron Stokes. Now, my interpretation would not be that for two
No, I don't.
reasons.
Sorry, I don't want. I don't think they're getting Tyron Stokes. I just think that it gives them the opportunity to focus other efforts that were on Caden Samuels on other people.
I mean, they were already doing that though. Like
Yeah, but now you can
if
do it. Now you can that time that was allotted to Caden Samuels can be allotted elsewhere.
I would need to hear the pitch on where it's being moved because I guess my thing would be if that's the approach you're taking, if we're now saying, "Oh, it's actually a good thing for Kentucky, like we have more time to focus elsewhere," then you should probably trim like six other guys off this target list, right? Like they have cast a wide net. So if we're going to say like we know who the priorities are now, we should really focus in our efforts. Trim a couple other guys off this list that you're acting like you have a chance with. Let's not spend resources on Tay Kinney anymore, right? Like, to me, I would say that's not my interpretation of it. I could be wrong. My interpretation of this is that Caden Samuel's family was just like, yeah, no thanks. You've offered so many people, and we've got other places we feel a little more prioritized at, which I'm not saying has been a misstep for Kentucky. because they're after some nasty players. Kentucky, Mark Pope is probably going to put together the best recruiting class in the country. Ultimately, I don't think Kaden Samuels not being in it is going to impact things overly much. I love Kaden Samuels' game. If I were Mark Pope, I probably would have wanted him. He would have been high on my priority list here. And if that is what happened and the family sort of backed out rather than Kentucky backing out, then I think it might be something we revisit in time. But at the same time, even if it was the other way, if it was Mark Pope being like, yeah, we've got bigger priorities, then totally applaud that as well. They're going to end up with a really good class, regardless of Caden Samuels not being in it. I was just going to say, I do think there is a way to interpret this development, though, as a sign of how they feel on Tyron Stokes. Because positionally, frame wise, they're different, but positionally, I think it's similar. Both these guys are going to play like at the three. Both these guys are going to take a lot of shots in theory in an offense. And Tyron Stokes is certainly more versatile than Caden Samuels. But I don't know. To me, if you're Kentucky and you are trying to pencil in this roster, which we did a video yesterday you weren't on for, but there's a world Kentucky could return 11 players next year. If you're starting to pencil in a team that is surrounded or surrounding Tyron Stokes, there's only so many spots to go around. So if Mark Pope and staff feel great, which all the buzz indicates they feel great, Kentucky thinks they are getting Tyron Stokes. That would shift the way I view the rest of this class. And if it was Mark Pope who ended up, I don't know, bowing out of this recruitment, to me, I do think it's a data point that Mark Pope thinks he's getting Tyron Stokes.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's surely how I would view it if I was a Kentucky person. Like this should be like positive Tyron Stokes smoke.
Yeah. Yep. Where do you think Caden Samuels goes? Like I said, I feel like there's
Georgetown.
been there's been Georgetown smoke.
I feel like now you just can't ignore Georgetown. I think there's ties with Team Takeover. I think that, Cooley does have a pretty good pulse on the DMV area. Caden Samuels obviously being a DMV area kid through and through. I do think that this ends up being a Georgetown win.
Yeah. But I like ignoring Georgetown.
Maybe we shouldn't ignore them,
But I like ignoring them.
but maybe we shouldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, they did make Thomas Sorber a first round pick. So
Thomas Silver was a first round pick.
yeah, we'll see. We'll have to wait years to see if the impact of Caden Samuels not visiting Kentucky will ever be felt. My guess is no. Everything should be fine, folks.
Could be.